Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Living Houston Local. Today, I want to introduce you to some new friends that I've made at a business called House of Blooms in Sugar Land Town Center. I discovered them after having a very touching experience ordering some flowers online for a really close friend, and they really are what I consider to be a hybrid business nowadays. They have 100% online presence with a human being behind the screen. Hyper local and family owned, their staff is comprised of a mixture of family and friends, all of whom have ridden the unexpected wave of 2020 together. I'm super excited to show you around their spot, share their story, and show you behind the scenes of the heart and soul of their business. Let's go.
My name is Patricia Houck, and everyone calls me Pat. And my position here at the House of Blooms is the owner. The first person I'd like to mention would be my husband, which is Alan, and he takes care of our IT department area. If it wasn't for him, I don't know if there would be a House of Blooms.
My name is Alan Houck. I'm mainly responsible for the technology that's used at House of Blooms. We are very dependent on the e-commerce site that we have, the ability to operate efficiently. One of the things that we implemented a few years ago was something that was see what you send, which gave us the ability to send a picture to the customer before we actually delivered the product, giving them the ability to make changes or request changes if necessary. For our out-of-town customers or the e-commerce customers, they also had the ability to see what was sent to the celebration or the funeral if they were unable to attend.
The other person would probably be Patrick, which is our operations specialist, and he works with us to make sure the day-to-day things are handled properly. He works with the customers as well.
My name is Patrick Houck, and here at House of Blooms, I'm basically an operations specialist. My main focus is on the bookkeeping for the shop, and then also the social media aspect of the shop as well. Also at the front with the client relations, as far as answering the phone and taking orders and processing orders. I help out there as well. And then lastly, with the technological side, as far as the systems that we use, I make sure those are running and things of that nature. The only thing I really don't do is arrange flowers.
The next person I would probably say would be Tiffany. Tiffany is our specialist for weddings and for events. She coordinates pretty much anything that has to do with floral.
My name is Tiffany Albrecht. I'm a Texas Master Florist, and I am our lead event coordinator, and I also oversee our daily orders. I'm certified as a Texas Master Florist. It is a program through the Texas State Floral Association, where we cover everything on how to process flowers, understanding the actual science behind the flowers, overall elements of design, and aspects of having a flower shop. It's a very extensive course to go through. We have people that come from all over the state, all over the US as a whole, just to be certified as a Texas Master Florist, because it is a very prestigious thing.
Then we would have Rachel, which is our lead designer. She designs the flowers, makes sure that it's exactly what the customer is wanting. And we also have a way of making sure that we all look at everything that goes out. So it's like a double check. The next person, which is totally valuable to this House of Blooms, would be Roy. Roy's our delivery driver. And I can't say enough about Roy. Roy's probably been with us at least 12 years. And the customers it's so many of them out there will call before he even gets back to the shop to say, oh, you've got the nicest driver, the nicest delivery guy. And that helps a lot with the morale with other employees as well. And then we have Megan. Megan is our sales rep. She's the first person you see usually when you walk into the door. She's always greeting you with a smile and trying to find out exactly what you're needing. What made me get into the floral business was I was actually in a completely different field at the time. And I wanted something that I could leave with my children as a legacy. And that's why I started looking around and investigating about a floral shop and realized it wasn't one in the center of Sugar Land.
I came on to be part of House of Blooms in regards to doing our events. I just love letting flowers create a whole environment. Flowers convey so much emotions, whether it's, happy or intimate or quirky. And I just love that you can translate all those different things with flowers, and it's a ball to be here. So I oversee all of our events, from large galas and events to intimate weddings, from things that could be just a sweet little proposal at home. Our goal is to help create the overall ambiance. I always ask my clients, what do you want your guests to feel when they walk in? So from the flowers, the lighting, the music, all of this whole environment is created that just really gives a fun experience. With House of Blooms in our process, we go through every step of the way with our clients, from initial conception to the full fruition of their vision. We do site visits with them. One of the perks of us having a flower shop is they can come in and see the flowers. They can smell them, get an idea of how big they are, their true colors, and things like that. So we really offer a level of customer service that's quite unparalleled.
I joined the military 21 years ago, and shortly after I started in the military, my family started this shop. And so during that time, I was one step removed from the shop with utilizing systems to have conference calls and things of that nature. On the later years of my career, I started working with different programs and process improvement and project management functions. And so as I got ready to retire and transition, I already knew I was going to come here and look to apply some of those big scale functions to a small business.
The technology changes. Since we've been here since 2008, we've watched big changes in the technology, and my full function is just to make sure we exploit that technology. I'm always looking at the next thing for a brick-and-mortar flower shop.
House of Blooms was created back in 2007, and we actually started at the kiosk that was on the plaza here in Town Square. And after 7-8 years, we moved to a brick-and-mortar down the street.
I retired early August last year, and within 5 days of actually physically transferring here, I put the red shirt on and I started working here. And it was something I looked forward to, and I know for a lot of transitioning service members, that's one of the big ticket things, is where they're going to transition to. And so I was really happy to have that, already solidified.
So for our day-to-day orders, we service the greater Houston area. We do have connections nationwide for other flower shops for daily orders. And then for our events and things like that, we go all over the country and out of country, depending on where our clients take us. So we offer a Forget-Me-Not program, which is a subscription service for all the major holidays for your loved ones throughout the year. So we can start with Valentine's, birthdays, anniversaries, just because that way your flowers are going to be sent and delivered. They'll get to feel special on that day. And it works really well because, who doesn't love flowers?
With House of Blooms, main focus on flowers, there is heavy involvement from the operation in the back, and there's also plants, as well as, with society progressing, Father's Day coming up, who knows? You could be sending a plant or a succulent, something of that nature, and it would be more acceptable and more received. And so, so it would be interesting to see where House of Blooms and the floral industry goes in the future. Like I mentioned with the succulents or the plants, those are also the other reason they're great options. I think a lot of people don't really know when you send an arrangement or a plant, it's not just that moment. It actually makes the moment last. You know, when you get it that day, but 2 weeks later. Now with a plant, it could be months later, years later that you can keep it growing. And so every time you see it, it'll just kind of remind you of that moment. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, House of Blooms offers to the community.
Working with my family has been an amazing process. At the very beginning, it was just my mother and I. I started with just sweeping the floors and taking out the trash. We started as a surprise. She pretty much told me as we're sitting at Starbucks, hey, here's a key, I'm opening a flower shop next week. I was off in college, and so I just stepped in to help. Since then, we've grown with having Patrick on our team. It's definitely been just wonderful. We all get along very well, and we all work as a team because we have such different roles. And I wouldn't trade it. I'm super spoiled that I get to work with my family every day.
So my family, Tiffany, Patricia, and Alan, I've looked at as mentors, especially throughout my military career. They are a perspective outside of the military whenever I'm going through certain life changes like a promotion or changing position. And so coming here to work with them full time, I was really looking forward to that. And,
you know, what I feel is so gratifying is that I've met so many people in the community, and I can say that House of Blooms was actually built on the character of just being able to embrace the community, and they have just did a wonderful job supporting House of Blooms, and I just want to thank them for that.
I'm so happy you guys got to meet the family behind this local business in Sugar Land, House of Blooms. Keep in mind, if you're a restaurant or hotel in the area and you'd like to provide a floral arrangement for your customers for special occasions, delivery is always free here in Town Square. You can find House of Blooms on Facebook, Instagram at The House of Blooms, and thehouseofblooms.com if you'd like to place an order. Thanks for following me today, and I'll see you next time.